Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Chandler in the Leadership and Integrative Studies Unit at Arizona State University. This toolkit video addresses the Statement of Work, or the SOW. In this brief video, I'll define what a Statement of Work, or SOW, is and describe what the purpose of an SOW is. Then I'll present some common sections that are used in an SOW, and I'll close with some recommendations for project managers in working with SOWs. An SOW is a description of the work and the products that the purchaser is buying from the supplier. It defines the activities, deliverables, and timelines for a supplier providing services and products to a purchaser. Many organizations have their own specialized SOW templates that they've created for the types of purchases that they commonly make. Project managers who are managing projects that require making purchases are often involved in many ways with SOWs. Here is a list of common sections that can be included in a statement of work. Purpose and context, measures of success and shareholder analysis, phases, timeline, or period of performance, work to be performed, that is, the tasks, and the location of that work, out-of-scope activities critical to the project, deliverables, or products, their due dates, and their quality criteria, relevant laws, regulations, and standards, and assumptions and risk analysis. We aren't going to be able to address every one of these areas in detail in this brief video. Because each organization could have several standard types of SOWs that it uses for different types of procurements, these SOW sections might not be included in every SOW. Purpose and context. It could be tempting to simply use copies of some of the project documents, such as elements of the project charter here. But there are often significant elements of the contract that's being used that needs to be addressed, and how any particular project is using an SOW to make a purchase deserves to be spelled out well in the SOW. Additionally, there can be contextual considerations that pertain to the SOW, and the contract could differ substantially from the project itself. And while the project manager and a few others closely involved with the project may fully understand those details, yeah, just go ahead and use those same project descriptions type attitude toward the SOW might save a little time, but that approach can also lead to problems. The SOW is a contractual document, and accuracy and clarity matter. Deliverables, or products, and their quality criteria. One of the main functions of the statement of work is to define the products, or the deliverables. And it's not sufficient to simply name the products and list their expected delivery dates. The quality criteria for each deliverable or product must also be provided. If the products being purchased are standard items, then that standard can be identified to define the quality criteria for those products. But most projects include entirely unique products, so more details are necessary in the SOW to define the quality criteria. The project manager often manages the project team members who are defining those quality criteria. Measures of success and shareholder analysis. Many times, the success measures for a project are beyond simply completing the project within the time and budget allocated. It's useful to examine these success measures from the client's and the stakeholders' perspectives while working on the SOW, because important elements can be uncovered that need to be more fully addressed in other sections of the SOW. For example, while discussing the measures of success anticipated by project stakeholders, a project manager may uncover additional assumptions or critical out-of-scope activities that create dependencies between this project and other projects. Out-of-scope activities critical to the project. It's certainly true that SOWs focus on what's inside the scope, but it's also helpful to address that boundary because most projects have some dependencies associated with either other projects that are underway or some other activities that are out of scope. So it's beneficial to decide ahead of time and include the details of how the purchaser and the supplier will deal with contingencies, if they arise, regarding those dependencies. Assumptions and risk analysis. Assumptions can address things like laws or standards. If the work plan for the SOW could be affected if the current laws change, then that could be either an assumption if those laws are not currently being revised, or it could be a risk if those laws are being revised while the statement of work will be operational. We've only addressed some of the common sections of a statement of work in this short video. Again, organizations that have contracts units often have experts that can assist in the development of statements of work, and they often have their own templates for use with the various types of contracts they use. Those experts can explain the details of their statement of work sections. Here are some recommendations for project managers with regards to working with statements of work. Previous projects. Make use of the lessons learned from previous project statements of work. Being too vague is a common problem in an SOW for any organization. Make sure that the statement of work is clear in identifying the responsibilities between the purchaser and the supplier. Expertise. Collaborating with the contracting experts in an organization can be helpful since that unit has ways of checking for challenges with statements of work that have been common for that organization in the past. Time. Project managers that allow themselves adequate time to address statement of work details with the client and the stakeholders and the project team members and the supplier typically find that their time was well invested. That wraps up this toolkit video. I'm Dr. Jennifer Chandler in the Leadership in Integrative Studies at Arizona State University. Thank you.